Hello, everybody. I hope you are having a wonderful afternoon. Today, we are here to chat about tips and tricks when traveling with the little ones. So, infants and toddlers make travel a little more challenging. And I really wanted to talk about this topic. I get a lot of questions about it. I also just wrote an article. It'll publish tomorrow in South Carolina Women Magazine, and I will have an article, that same version of the article, on LinkedIn later on this afternoon as part of my newsletter. So feel free to check that out as well. That will link to a couple of resources that I'm going to mention here on the call today. But I hope everybody's having a wonderful afternoon. Poke me a like. Let me know that you're out there watching. Meanwhile, let's get started. So first thing to consider when traveling with young ones is whether or not you're going to fly. And I often get parents asking if they need an airline ticket for their little one. So there are many airlines that have policies that actually allow you to have what's known as a lap seat child for children that are 2 and under. This will allow you to avoid paying for a standalone seat for your child, but they do have to be under the age of 2, and you will need to have the child in your lap the whole flight. That does mean you have not purchased a seat. There is not a seat held on that aircraft for your child. So keep this in mind when you're flying a really long distance or having some other travel needs that you have, that you would have the child in your lap if you are taking advantage of this option. The other option is to purchase your child a seat, in which case, if they're a toddler, they can typically sit up on their own. If they are an infant, you are going to want to keep that car seat handy so that they can be in the seat in that car seat. The second one is rental cars and what you're going to do with your child when you are utilizing a rental car. So many rental car companies will rent you a car seat. Typically, it is only one. So if you have children that need car seats and you have multiple children, this might be a problem. But you can rent a car seat through the rental car company. It does need to be reserved in advance to ensure that they are going to have that inventory. The other thing you may want to consider, and I link to them in my website as well as in the article that will be published, is a company by the name of BabyQuip. These are franchises that can rent you equipment, so cribs, strollers, car seats, when you are traveling. So they will meet you at your destination with all of the child needs that you may have. It's a great solution so that you don't have to actually pack all of that information, pack all of that and take it with you. Now, one of the other things you may want to pay attention to is the hotels and resorts that you are booking at. Many hotels can accommodate a crib. Some actually have what's known as infant programs. Those infant programs can actually get you not only a crib, it can get you potentially a changing table, a diaper genie, baby food, other things and other supplies. So each of those programs is different by supplier. So definitely work with your travel advisor to know and understand the pieces that can be available to you through your already purchased vacation supplier. One thing to keep in mind if you are going out to those theme parks, many theme parks do have what's known as baby changing stations and baby care stations. They go by a couple of different names. Those locations are great places to get out of the heat. Take your infant and get out of the heat. It's a great place for nursing and bottle feeding. They typically have rockers and recliners, and it is a great place to go. Not so convenient for baby changing needs, unless you happen to be in that area of the park, but they do also have baby changing stations. So just keep that in mind, especially on those really hot days if you're in the South and headed off to those theme parks. Again, excuse me, that BabyQuip is a fantastic service, and they are available in many locations across the globe. Across the US, they cover most metropolitan cities, and across the world, they offer services in a lot of the major cities that you might travel to. But if you have questions on that service, definitely pop me a message. And I hope you have found this information